Want to tame a creature on Ark the Center? Of course you do. There's a lot of them to find and check out and take home for yourself. Well, we've compiled a list of every single creature spawn on the map. That's right, going through them all from A to Z, giving you locations from the snow to the volcanoes to the redwoods. Whatever you want to tame, it's all right here with map references. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and let's get into it. Coming in with the sluggy snail Achatina slime does paste that follows an aloe, because guess what? We're showing you the aloe location. That's right, getting your bleed done. Moving on to the ammonite bile giving ammonites that are deep in the sea. You're going to want to find them right here. Guess what, anglergel lovers? You've got anglerfish that give it to you. Finding them out in the sea, deep underground, deep in the sea. Not really much underground at all, but moving to the ground, ankies. You need them for metal, don't you? Swish, swish with your tails. You can find them all over here, dominating the western side of the map. Over to the spiders, aranios, web-slinging things that nobody tames. You can find them all over the map in specific caves. Onto the Arcanau, a lovely, beautiful, gliding creature that, again, nobody really uses anymore, but I quite like it. It's got the odd parachute use. You can find them here. Onto the all-favourite flying tool, multi-tool, Argentavis. You can find them all over here for your mobile smithy. The Arthropluras, acid spitting in your face. What's in your face? Acid's in my face. You can find them all round here. Moving on to those dirty, stunning things in the waters, Baryonyx. They're all round in these locations here if you want to do some stunning yourself. Great way to get into the sea from the start. Over to the Basilosaurus, a great strong sea tame. You can find them in lots of places all over these regions. And then heading over to our Beezle Buffos. Guess what, where these are? Of course you know where these are, in the swamp, and you want to tame them for some good, nice paste from eating bugs. Onto the big, giant, heavy Brontos. Still need a bit of TLC, I believe, but you can find them all over here in the jungle regions. Moving on to your cheeky, tanky turtles. Not a bad choice if you want to use to tame a Tuzo. Don't forget that one. You can find them all over in the jungle. Moving on to the Carcharodontosaurus. It is on the center. That's right, folks. Sharing the spawns with the Giga found in these locations. Moving on to the bloodthirsty, bleeding Carno. You can find them all over these locations, ready to arc you at a moment's notice. And then onto those beaver dams that are still great mobile smithies themselves, perhaps underused now because of Argies, but of course are a great path to find beaver dams for your paste and early silica pills found here with the beer-loving, poop-throwing Juggernaut Chalicotherium. Really underestimated creature. Go and check them out in these locations here. Onto the brand new Ceratosaurus Arc Editions, now in vanilla game creature. You can find them in a lot of places, pretty much dominating the map because nothing else aggroes on them. Jellyfish, biotoxin, you're going to need them, right? So you can find them in these spots here. Still a bit rare. They should be a bit more common, and you'll find them there for your toxins. Coelacanth, need fishing, need to fish. Fish everywhere, fish in your face, find them here. Fish there, fish everywhere. Compies, who wants a compy? No one. But if you really do, you never know. It's a cheeky, easy shoulder pet. You can find them everywhere over here. Onto the definitely needed healing friend partner, Daeodon. You can find them over in these locations, ready for your boss fights. And onto the acid spitting, blinding Dilos. They're everywhere, all over these regions, if you want to get some of these early on in the game. Onto the nobody tames anymore, but was once a great tame. Now, still kind of an incubation creature. The Dimetrodon is, as you'd expect, found in these swampy regions here. And the armor-piercing, destroying, flying Dimorphs of Doom are found all over the map in these locations here. Pushing onwards to the very underrated, though I thought was useless, actually not as useless as you think, a great early sea creature to get around fast, Diplocaulus, found in these swamp locations here. And the dirty, long-necked, bugging thing that knocks you about, Diplodocus, can be found all over these spots if you want one. And everyone loves a bear, don't you? Bears are good, bears are great, early tames, and a great way to farm lots of honey, found all over these locations. And then on to the pack buffing, underrated, absolute menacing pack dire wolves. You can find them all over here. Hey, and who doesn't want the iconic, ever-loved flagship creature Dodo? You can find them all over in these spots. Doedicurus! You want a Doedicurus? You want stone? You want a farm stone? You want a Doedicurus? So go and check them out in these locations all over here. Onto a dung beetle. Definitely, I think everybody wants. If you want to turn your poop into fertilizer, you can find them in these specific locations over here. Of course, as you'd expect, mostly in caves. And a dung, a great choice to get farm lots of oil in the sea. If you head to these locations in the sea, you can get one for yourself. And why on earth you want to tame one of these, I don't know, but some people do, believe it or not. Nightmare to tame. But Electrophoruses, they're everywhere. They're pretty much everywhere in the sea. Horses for courses. Early chem bench, anyone. Early easy tame. If you've got the carrots handy, you can find these in these spots over there. And then onto your black pearl, giving only a few black pearls at a time, but definitely worth farming. Euryptrids, they are found all over here. Onto the Irish loved, but nobody else loves. But hey, why not? If he loves them, somebody else loves them. Gallimimus, you can find them all over here. And bees, you want some honey in your life? Of course you do. Honey makes the world go round, and you can find them in the redwoods, of course, needing to find beehives to get them out of first. Onto the great and powerful Gigantosaurus, as per Ark Survival Evolved, are found in the same locations as they were before. And the ever-loved early game tame, again, I think a great one to get about on and farm berries, and definitely pack a punch. Gigantopithecus, don't forget to throw a helmet on that one. And Gigantoraptor, yes, this is on the center too, with its nests tamed the same way as it was on the island. You can find these all over these locations. And why on earth you'd want to tame these, but believe it or not, they are worth taming if you want a way to get a special kind of XP egg and a specific type of kibble. Another one, another fan favourite, not really, Hyenodon, laughing little dog thing that you need to pet on the head. And the definitely worthy creature of perhaps the most annoying thing in the game, Ichthyornis. Seagulls everywhere, stop it now, but they're here. Dolphins, great early sea tame, great way to get around early on. Going to want these if you want to tame the Shastasaurus. You can find these all over these locations. Iguanodon, a great early tame and a great way to get around pretty rapid without losing stamina. You can find these all over these locations to get you early seeds pretty easy. Penguins, of course, your one ticket access to organic poly. You're going to want to know where these are, especially simply for that, and they are found in these locations here. Who doesn't want to troll someone without a Capro in their hand, snatching them from the clutches of their tames? You can find these all over the swamp. And of course, the Kentro, a underrated tame, I think, definitely deals some decent damage. A great way to enrage a Giga if you can. You can find these over in these locations. Dirty leeches. Why would you want these? Because sometimes you're going to need to cure that thing, swamp fever, so you do need to know where these are, as well as a bit of fishing bait. Leads, the big ones, they're all over in the sea. Definitely worth finding, looking for if you want to scrape a bit of prime fish meat for your life. Why on earth you want to tame this, I don't know, but Leoplorodon is on the center too. Don't forget, it does boost drops, but I think it needs to boost them a bit more than that. But if you want to tame them, you can do in these locations. Lystro, a great way to keep your creatures XP buffed. They can exist in all of these locations. Definitely worth taming one for your base. Mammoth, a great and powerful tame. Actually pretty good for bosses, as we found out before. You can find these in all of these locations. A great fast speedy thing in the water. I didn't know you had to passively feed these until recently. Mantas, you can find these all over in these locations. A dirty thing, what does it do? It inflicts a disease to people with its bite. It can also climb up walls, good for caves. Megalania can be found in these locations. Doe, a deer, a female deer, no, a male deer. It's called a stag. You can find these in all of these locations. A lot of people like to tame these to get a bit of thatch. And of course, the pack buff pack bleeding jaws of the sea. Megalodon, though much smaller than the actual Megalodon in real life, can be found in these locations here. Sleepy man go sleepy time in many sleepy spots because sleepy man need lots of sleep. So find these in the daytime when they do sleep in these locations here. Meganora, a great thing to farm with a frog to get yourself a lot of paste. You can find these in these locations here. And speaking of bugs, the bug buffed hard hitter, when bug buffed, Megatherium can be found in all over these locations. A great boss killer if you get one. And hey, definitely an underrated shoulder mount monkey, poop throwing monkey, Mesopithecus, can be found in all of these locations here. And why? Why? Worth taming one if you don't want to get Microraptored. So go and find one in these locations here so you don't have to worry about getting Microraptored anymore. The Big Daddy, King of the Sea, was dubbed the Giga of the Sea, though I think it goes to another one. Mosa is in these locations in the sea. A great, mighty creature, believe it or not. Moschops. This one definitely packs a big bite, harvesting, buffing creature. Moschops can be found in these locations. Dirty Bat, though Dirty Bat can now be sat, believe it or not, in Ark, and you can find these in these locations here. Of course, everyone's favourite and definitely a worthy one for the centre scene. There's so many artifacts, and this thing can store them in its inventory as well as keep you nice and warm in cold areas. Otters are found here. Oviraptors, a great source to collect eggs. You're going to want those to automatically collect your eggs for you for your bases. You can find these in these locations here. Bahramu, sheep. They're everywhere in the, well, not quite everywhere, but in these locations here. Of course, you're going to want to tame these to get plenty of mutton in your life. Not many people like this one anymore. Feels like it's really dated, though Captain Fat Dog swears by this one. The Patchy, I refuse to call it the other name, is found in all of these locations here. And the repelling or attracting, I think it's attracting, Patchy Rhino, smaller than Trike Patchy Rhino, you can find in all of these locations here. Need a big phallic necked creature that's got a saddle to boot. Definitely one I quite like. I'm a big fan of these, and you might be a big fan of these too. If you are, you can find these in these spots here. Detect or alert small creatures. Parasol, a great early starter tame. Definitely for getting berries right from the off. Can be found in these spots. And if you want to steal someone's lunch or just fear where they are by them stealing your lunch, you can find Pegos all over these spots here. And hey, if you want to farm some organic poly, this is a great choice to tame the Pelagornis. You can find these in all of these spots. Need some poop in your life? Of course you do. Poop makes fertilizer. Phiomias, drop it in the bucket load and can be found in all of these locations. Can you tame piranhas? I'm no questioning this, but you know, I don't think you can. But if you don't want to tame them, if you want to avoid them, if you want to try and tame them, I'm pretty sure you can't tame these. You can find these in these locations. The perhaps most annoying thing in the sea, no, it was the most annoying thing in the sea, now superseded. Plesiosaur can be found in these spots. Definitely a great travelling tame with some helpful breeding mechanics to boot. Kangaroo / Procoptodon can be found in all of these spots. The perhaps most iconic early game flyer of the game, Pteranodon. Everyone's going to get one of these normally right off the bat. If they can, they'll be racing to get these, and you can find these here. Need a bit of sting in your life, can actually knock out things, believe it or not. Used to be a thing a lot of people do, don't do that anymore. Scorpions, Pulma scorpions are found in these spots. And if you want to surprise somebody or even have a hidden vault under the floor, Palovias, they should have a saddle. Why do they not? Arc Animated had them. Why doesn't this have them? But this is where they are. And yes, the $5 lion Pyromane is all over, dominating the volcano. We've got a guide on how to tame that if you want to go check that out. Links in the description. My favourite of the skies. Just quite an iconic thing though, perhaps underused now because of the RG. But a joy to tame really is and have in your tribe. Quetzal is all over these spots. A bit of a nightmare to find. Raptors, everybody loves a raptor. Raptors are everywhere, ready to pounce your face off. Normally in packs, have a pack buff, can scream to the skies, can be found in these spots here. And of course, the big iconic bus runner, Everyone has these, right? You can't not have a Rex in your life. You can find Rexes all over in these locations. Sabertooth, a underrated tame. I actually quite enjoyed using this in Scorched Earth recently, an early one to tame. And if you want to tame one, you can find them in these spots here. And hey, sabers, actually worth farming with a sickle if you want to get some prime fish in your life early on. Go and find these all over in these spots here. Sarco, definitely a good choice to go into the sea for your very first time, and a bit of a powerhouse really. You can find these in all of these spots here. And of course the brand new end game tame edition Shastasaurus, and it's a pretty sizable one that can be found in all of these spots here. We've got a guide on how to tame that one too. Spino, of course, an iconic one too, and perhaps the go-to creature for the new boss arena of the center. You can find these in all of these locations. And hey, Stego, who doesn't want a Stego, especially farming berries? And if you want to tank a good tank on PvP, you're going to find all of these in these spots. And definitely a fan favorite, Tapawara, Tapajara. I can't call it the Tapawara, it feels weird, but a good flyer nonetheless. You can find these in these locations. Happy Flappy, Flappy Happy, Flappy Flappy Terror Birds. I definitely one a lot of people still go to. I still kind of like it. And if you like it, you can find these here. Obviously, one of the best creatures in Ark, the multi-purpose, absolute monster, powerhouse, harvester, killer of Ark, Therizino, can be found in all of these locations. And want a bit of bleed in your life, or just want to be pounced unbeknownst in the deep of the redwoods? Well, Thylers, they're everywhere in there, of course, in this location. And if you really, really want to do it, if you really got the metal and the cannons for it, the Titanosaur is available in the redwoods in these spots to tame. Want to attempt to egg tame a snake, a Titanoboa? Well, you're in luck. You can do that by going to these locations here. And hey, ants! You can't tame them. Definitely can't tame these. But if you want to run into them, well, or find them run into you, usually when you've got something knocked out and ready to tame, well, they'll be in these locations here. Trike, a good early starter tame. Got some great knockback on it and great farmer for berries with great weight on top. You can find these in these locations. And hey, want to try and get some more black pearls? These offer a bit less than Eurypterids, but trilobites are found all over these spots here. And oh my god, absolute nightmare of a tame, but a real fun one to troll people with, and will definitely knock you out and put you to sleep. Make sure you got a torch at hand. Troodons are everywhere here. My favourite of the sea, the ever-grabbing, loving, ink-propelling kraken of the sea, Tuzoteuthis, can be found in all of these locations. And a great, definite, worthy choice if you want to try and go mad on the melee and try and have a pop at bosses yourself. Can be done with these. So underrated with these. Rhinos can be found here. And as we know, an underrated, ridiculous boss killer, and especially with a water level in the boss arena, Sphincters, can't pronounce it any other way, can be found in these spots. The Bigfoot alternatives, Yetis, you can't tame these, but if you want to find these and run away from these, then you can find these here. Definitely a needed choice for anybody planning to run bosses and get a good buffing squad behind them. The Uti, the Karen screaming, buffing Utirannus, is found in all of these locations. Want to get a bit of XP in your life? Alfafas, they're everywhere for you. Alpha Megalodons, they're about in the sea in these spots if you want a bit of XP. Alpha Raptors, perhaps the easiest go-to alphas of Ark, are all over in these locations. And Gobble Gobble Turkey-necked, that looks like your 80-year-old grandma Alpha Carno, is roaming around in these locations here. And the pretty rare, though not as rare on the center, Alpha Rex, and definitely rewarding some giant amount of XP, can be found in more spots than you think. And of course the alpha version of the Leeds, giving you a Captain Hook hat. Is that still a thing? I think maybe. If it is, you can find them here. Definitely a great choice if you want to farm yourself some black pearls, maybe a chance at a fishing rod, but an absolute monster to defeat. Not so much with Sphincters. Alpha Mosa is in these locations. But of course, The one that definitely gives you black pearls as well as a guaranteed decent fishing rod. Alpha 2 monster of a thing to kill can be found in these spots too. And that's it. That's your lot. That was a lot, right? Hopefully you enjoyed this entertaining, informative list of creatures. Go and knock yourself out now you got all the locations. So until the next one, my name's Ross Clark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And as always, peace out.